Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to VidaneTV. Big fight feel here this evening as we are going to crown ourselves a series champion here for Season 8, Season Ocho, as it were, for the RBR Maritime Group here in South Boston for the Toco Electric 150 laps on the docket here this evening. Showtime, Paul Strickland Jr. in the production truck, yelling out the microphone, yelling at the race cars, pushing all the buttons, and calling the action as I see it. And alongside me, Ashton Reiki, as always. The final question for this final race here this evening. Ashton, are you ready?
I am ready.
No! I said, are you ready? Sorry, I always wanted to do that.
Monday Night Raw has not started yet.
It has
Actually,
not.
it has, but we're doing racing first.
Indeed, we are. Look at this. The top five in the points just qualified in the top five. Ryan Messer, Tan Woldridge, I saw they qualified there. I was telling you on the before we came on the air, they're on the front row. The Roma brothers, 1 point separates them in the to top five. The Craig Cotoli, fifth in points. Devin Laffin, he's up in the top five, top six there in points as well. You can see the rest of the field sorted out. We're not doing any kind of showdown or anything like that. This is just an additional race added on to last week's show. You take a quick look here at a different league's top 5 points, because I forgot to change the button. But we'll get a quick look at the points here. But you can see the top 2 in points going to roll off P1 and P2. Ashton, this is going to be a barn burner.
It is, and a great qualifying also by Scott Negus. I noticed that he is up there in the 6th position inside row 3 as they take the green flag. Off to the races they go, straight down the backstretch. Early on, Messer's going to take that lead as Woolridge is going to tuck right in behind him. And like you said earlier, Craig Tully, Chris Roma, Devin Laffin, they're all up here, and they're all guys that have had a very, very great season. Top 5 in points for a lot of these guys, and it's a great showing by all of them.
Indeed it is, and this race came about. We had a championship battle going into the final race. Ryan Messer had a 7-point lead over Tan Woolridge, but unfortunately, easy enough for me to say, had some connection issues. The Wi-Fi went down, and it gave a 17th place finish to Ryan Messer in the one car, and that handed Tan Woolridge the lead for the championship, ending by 7 points. But he's been trying to get this championship now for 7-8 seasons, and he wanted to make sure he did it the right way. So a commendable act by Tan Woolridge. Told the boss man, Craig Tully, he wanted to run one more race. And here we are, South Boston, 150 laps on the docket, 4 of them down as they cross the stripe. Right now, Ryan Messer out front, but the way the points, the points look really, really tight as we get into this one.
Yeah, absolutely, and great on Tanton for reaching out, and they gave him the opportunity to pick the track, which was really cool. I know they discussed it between Ryan and Tanton to kind of figure out a neutral ground, which it was also really cool. These guys were able to work something out and make it all come together as the points there slightly pop up on the screen there, but they're doing a great job at with this league, and they've always run it very smoothly. As the points back up on your screen there on the right hand side, that 7-point difference is not a big lead, so Tanton's going to have to be on the top of his game today, and hopefully just kind of stick to the back of Messer and keep things working the way they are.
Indeed they do, and you can see Messer able to pull away by just a few car lengths. Tanton able to close right back in, though, on the entry of this one. As we take a quick look here at the post-it note, Craig Tully handed me a refresher on the points. You get 50 points for a win, 45 for second, and then -1 point for every position in behind that. But the pole sitter also gets 5 bonus points, 4 points for second place, third place gets 3, 2.1 point for the top 5 qualifiers there as well. That's a little bit past my math ability, so we're going to wait for the big boss man to do the official math at the end of this one, and he'll let us know who's going to come away with the championship. How about a little side-by-side battle for that third position? Craig Tully gets a little bit of a nudge. He gets pushed up to the high side, and Roma takes a peek down low.
Yeah, he kind of peeked down low and then thought better of it and tucked right back behind as he looked probably in his mirror and saw Scott Negus kind of working his back bumper. So a little bit more of the defense, still 139 laps to go in this race. Was able to show his power and get to the bottom, but tucked right back in behind there and keeping his car in front of the one of Scott Negus, of the 55 of Scott Negus, sorry. And Scott's really running good. He's hooking that yellow line and really coming around that corner. I know it's early on in this race with 138 laps still to go, but I like the looks of that car tonight.
Absolutely, and you don't even have to look at the onboard to see those bright white gloves through the windshield and through that side window to see how hard the 55 is driving to make sure that thing keeps it in that 5th position. He's got Devin Laffin in behind him, Mike Rhino, pretty much single file throughout here. There you see, as I say that, they get double file back here for 3rd again. Chris Roma going to try and boot that door open one more time down to the bottom side. Boss man Tully says not just yet. He's going to close that door once again, and you can see those rear brake rotors bright cherry red on just about everybody out here, and that's it's relatively early, 15, 16 laps in. Kind of early for those brakes to be that red.
It is, but there's this is one of those tracks that can be a little challenging on the brakes. Very fast straightaways, as you can hear. They're right on the gas coming out of the corner, and they really got to get that car woed up to get around the corner. I've noticed that the 83 is getting the run down the straightaways. I don't know if he is able to arc the corner in a little deeper or what it may be, but every time he peaks low, it's almost like Tully gets on the throttle a little sooner and he's able to pull away middle of the corner out. So I think the entry is just a little bit better on the 83 machine, but the 50 car's got a great exit, and that's what's keeping him in that position. A great shot here by the producer, picking up that camera on that mirror and showing that there's not much room to maneuver out there this early on in the race.
That's exactly right. Whoa, big time loose there as we ride on board with the 50 of the 50 of Craig Tully. He slides up. He's going to lose a spot, maybe a second spot. Scott Negus right there to capitalize. He's going to get up to the bumper, up to the door, and up to the front bumper. Not quite clear, though, for the 55. The 8 car is going to try and follow him in there, too.
He is, and that's what the 50 is working on right now. He's just trying to keep up with the 55. I don't know if he's necessarily trying to make the pass. I think he's just trying to time it that he can fill in that gap behind the 55 and get back down to the bottom. But he might be learning something right now because that high side's actually rolling quite smooth.
Indeed it is. That's one of those happy little accidents. As you can see, the 50 car able to hold on now that he's able to kind of gather himself back up, gather his thoughts. He's able to complete the pass back on the 55 as he gets a little bit loose down on the bottom side. Tully back into that 4th position. Now Devin Laffin going to try and follow the 50 on that high side. He's going to try and get around Negus in the 55.
Yeah, he might have just shown his hand. The 50 might have just shown the hand of the 8 there, and the 8 decided to take that opportunity and jump to the high side. The trick there is when you're coming off the corner, you're essentially pinching the guy on the bottom down and not allowing him to use that momentum. So he's not able to get on the throttle as quickly to try and keep the car underneath him, the back end underneath him. And a long run like this allows those tires to get hot, as we know. And I think that's all that was there was Tully able to keep the 55 down to the bottom. It got the car a little de-wedged and tight. And then the 8 was able to jump on that exact same opportunity after he saw Tully do it.
Little side-by-side action up for that 2nd position. Tant Woolridge got a little bit loose. He gets caught up on that high side. The 83 Aroma gets down there, as well as Craig Tully gets himself into the opening. He's going to try and slide himself into that 3rd position. But I think once Tanton gets comfortable with that high side, we might see that 56 make some moves up there.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think he wants to really show his hand this early on. Still 120 plus laps to go. It's a little early to be using the high side unless you really, really have to. For instance, if he needed to make this pass to get back up into 2nd and close that points gap, now would be the opportunity to do that. But as I say that, the 83 down to the bottom going for the lead, and it looks like Messer kind of just moved up to the high side and let him go. And this could be a strategy move by both of the 56 and the 1 early on in this race, maybe trying to save something for the end.
There were 30 laps into this one and a long way to go before we take that checkered flag, so they might be trying to keep a little bit in the tank, as it were, keep a little bit of rubber on those tires. Chris Roma's out there for a W. He knows that he really doesn't have to worry about points too much, because Travis Roma, the 38 car, he came in. They were 1 point separating them between 3rd and 4th in points, and you can see Chris having a much better run of it than Travis. Travis stuck currently in the 12th position here in the 38 car. 14 cars strong here in the bonus round here for the RBR Season Ocho Championship. The 83 car out front, the top 2 contenders for the championship, right now running bumper to bumper in second and third. Craig Tully and Devin Laffin, they're up in the top 5 here as well.
It's quite early, Paul, but I know we've been doing this with the on a regular Monday night show with the Fast One late models. We always pick a guy to win with like 10 to go. I say we pick one now.
Pick one now. Oh, put me on a spot like that. Man, I'm gonna go with Tanton. I'm gonna go with the 56 car. Tanton is one of the guys, and I say this. He's one of the guys on the short list of drivers that I've done sim racing for, as well as real racing. But Ryan Messer's also on that list. We did that race at 660 last year. So, but I'm still gonna go with Tanton. I think he's got. He's almost the underdog coming into this one. He's been trying to get one of these championships here in the RBR since season 1, and he's got a really good shot at it right now. I don't know exactly what the points would be if it were to end right now because of the qualifying and how they fell, but I think Tanton would have it right now. So he's basically just got to keep that one car in his sight here tonight. But yeah, long story short, I'm going to 56.
All right, and I'm looking for a race for next year, so I'm going to take the boss man. I'm going to take Tully because that car looks strong tonight. He's been able to hook it around the bottom. We saw him use the high side, so I'm going to take the boss man, and I'm going to say he's going to get himself a checkered flag tonight.
Toco Electric on the hood of that car. They are the title sponsor here for the bonus round tonight as well. The Toco Electric 150 at South Boston Speedway. Chris Roma still holding on to it. He's holding on to it by a little bit more than the last time we saw him here, and it's not very often we say, but that 83 car driving away from Ryan Messer.
And that's the hard part to understand, is that he's driving away from what we know as one of the best sim racers, especially in the leagues that we've been running, or that I've been announcing with you. Ryan Messer always seems to be at the top, so to be able to pull away from a driver like Ryan Messer certainly means something. I know it's early on in the race, but it certainly has to build that confidence.
100%. You can see the front three getting sorted out, drifting apart. It seems to be about 0.8 of a second between first and third, and Craig Tully still all over the back bumper right now of Tanton Wooldridge. Third and fourth, Devin Laffin in the 8 car. Pardon me, still in that 5th spot. Scott Negus, Mike Rhino, Noel Fouchier, Danny Vitch, and Dylan Black, the top 10 as they run. Travis Roma moves up to 11th. Dave Cassidy, John Byron, and Derek Gates, the current lead lap cars. And for the most part, as we look through the field, everybody kind of single file at this point. They know we've still got better than 100 laps to go. Oh, big bump for the Tully machine up into the outside wall. He gathers it back up. Oh my goodness, that was scary.
A crazy turn of events there for Tully. That's going to drop him back quite a ways, as we're going to go to the replay, the U.S. Racing Designs replay. I'm not exactly sure if the back end just got loose on him, or if he had some help, but nonetheless, that's going to drop him back big time. Yeah, a little bit of contact there by the 8.
A little bit of help, and you can see the damage is enough for the 50 car to have to come down pit road. So we chalk that up as a commentator curse.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to, because I mean, I just picked him.
I'll let you get a second pick. Go ahead.
I still picking him to win.
There you go. We stay green in this one. 104 laps to go. Everybody chasing the 83 car. Currently, Chris Roma up in front. Ryan Messer, Tanton Wooldridge, second and third. A little bit of space in behind them. You can see new 4th place driver is the 8 of Devin Laffin, with Craig Tully coming down pit road, still down on pit road, getting some work done. Looks like a 30-second pit stop, and he is down and away, albeit 2 laps down for the number 50. Scott Negus is going to break his way back into the top 5. There you see Mike Rhino and Noel Fouchier in the picture as well. So 48 laps down, 49 laps down, 101 left to go here in this one. And as it stands, it looks like that 56 still in charge of the points lead.
He is, and he's just got to, like you said earlier, he's just got to keep the one in his sights and keep the other cars behind him, and he's doing the job he needs to do. I'm sure he's getting the information from his spotter, letting him know that, you know, you're in the good right now, or at least you're close to. Again, we don't have the math in front of us, but you know, if he is in the good, I'm sure they're telling him. If he's not, I'm sure they're also telling him, you know, you got to pass that one car. So it's one of those extra extra things in the back of your head when you're trying to drive one of these cars. And I know it's just a sim rig, but those thoughts are also in the real racing world. You know, when you're coming down to the end of a season, I know a lot of the drivers say they try not to think about it, but it's got to be in the back of the mind.
Oh, absolutely. Real racing, sim racing, whatever it may be. And it's crazy to see the issues that you have in the real world happen in the sim world as well. You can have your late model in real life have some electrical demons where you're trying to chase that electrical issue, can't figure out what the heck it is, and it ends up being a little crimped wire. You see the 50 car back down on pit road. He's now 7 laps down for the big boss man, Craig Tully. But in the real racing world, we have similar situations like that. It could be electrical demons, it could be Wi-Fi connection, lots of different things that could go into an issue. And we had that very thing happen. It was actually a few weeks ago, last December. I think it was before the holidays. We had race number 7, and we thought we were going to close out the championship, but with those connection issues from the one car, you see Mike Rhino in the 34 car getting up into the outside groove and shuffled on back. But with those connection issues with that one car, here we find ourselves in a bonus round, and the 38 needs to, I think he might need to get down to pit road.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those situations, Paul, that we're getting late in this race. You know, are the tires really starting to wear off? Is that where you see guys starting to change up their lines a little bit? And I think that's exactly what happened with Bossman. He backed his corner up a little bit to be able to arc that corner, and I don't think the 8 was in the same position. I think that's where the little bit of contact came from. So it might be a situation of cars are starting to get loose, change their lines. As you see, Scott Negus kind of chased the car up the track there, opening the door for the 36 of Fougere to be able to move past him into that position. But the tanks are getting lighter. There's less fuel in these, so back end's starting to skate around a little bit. You're going to start seeing a few more different lines come out from these guys.
Yeah, and you've already seen a handful of the drivers use that apron to kind of de-wedge the car, the old Stafford Speedway trick, because it's a very similar racetrack here as well. It kind of loosens the car up just a little bit when you get those 2 tires down on the apron, just kind of turns it just a little bit. Noel Fougere moves his way into the top 5. How about Danny Vitch? Great run for him in the Major Mellon Mountain Dew number 29 car. That's still one of the best paint schemes I think we've seen in our 5-year tenure here at VidaneTV.
Yeah, I would say that he's probably on a 5-year winning streak of best appearing car.
Yes, 1,000%. Very loud. You can definitely tell where all the 29 fans are in the stands because they're very bright.
Yeah, yeah. And mentally and physically, they're wearing bright clothes, and they're very smart people.
Well, sometimes. I mean, you can't be nice to everybody, I guess. But Danny having a great run currently in the P6 position. You see a little bit further on back, Scott Negus in the 55, still rocking and rolling the 55 car. Dylan Black in the 08, he's currently P8. There's Craig Tully in the 50 car. He's got fresher tires, but he's still multiple laps down there. That's actually the Travis Roma machine. I saw a yellow car. I automatically thought it was Tully. The 38 car quietly sneaking on back into the top 10. He may have something to say about that 1 point that was separating he and his brother up in the lead.
He's still got some work to do. I mean, his brother is leading this of all things that he has to catch, of all nights that he's got to track down his brother. His brother's having one of his best nights out there, and I know you mentioned Tully there back out on track, and he's on fresher tires, and he's setting some quick times right now.
Yeah, competitive times. He's 15.355 last time for Tully, at 3:44 for the leader, Chris Roma, and that's older tires there for the 83 car. But I don't think the 83 has slowed down much by design. But look in the rearview mirror and you see Ryan Messer. He has slowly, methodically driven away from Tanton Woldridge back in third and driven closer to Chris Roma here in the lead. So this one car is hooked up here at Sobo, and he is on the move.
And you can see he's almost matching Chris Roma's times. I don't know if it's just a gap thing that he's like a gap perspective that he's, I know I can be this close. I know I can drop back this much and still be comfortable. But he's not far off of Chris Roma's lap times now. I don't know, again, if Chris Roma's kind of backed it up a little bit to save with 80 to go, or if Ryan Messer's just turned the wick up.
Honestly, I think Messer has just turned the wick up because you can see if you're following along at home, timing and scoring presented by Wingnuts Productions. Tan's 2 seconds back from the leader. Ryan Messer, he drove from third almost up to second. There you see that gap back to the 56 car. And a little bit further on back to fourth and fifth. Devin Laffin having a great run in the 8 car there as well. But I don't know. Messer I don't know if he found something with the line, or when we saw him kind of just nonchalantly, I don't want to say give up the lead, but he didn't really put up a fight like you called out there. I think he had big picture racing in his mind. I think he's got a little something in the back of that one.
I just noticed that he's up half a lane. So he's running that white line, and he's using the right side tires are almost stuck to the dotted line, about halfway up. So he enters low and lets it kind of coast up to the top. He's able to get on the throttle a lot sooner. I think he's searching. I think right now it's study time for Ryan Messer, and I think he's gone to school of Messer, and he's teaching himself maybe some tricks here. As we see Roma kind of pulling back away, he's opened that lead up again to about 0.7 seconds. So I mean, he's still under a second, but I think Messer is backing off too. It's kind of, I know Messer's game, and it's odd to see him backing off this far from the leader.
Yeah, I think knowing Messer, though, and as long as he's been racing and sim racing, he might be playing a little bit of cat and mouse. So he might have used 5 laps there to see, okay, if I drive at 85%, this many laps, how close am I going to get? Messer's one of those sim racers that can do all that stuff in his head while he's out there racing. So it wouldn't put him past me. Like you said, he's out there studying. He's trying to figure out where he's quicker than the 83 Aroma, where he's slower, where he can potentially get around him. And maybe we'll have some lap traffic here later on in this one to kind of show a little bit of a pick. And how about these guys doing a little bit of battle here for the top 10? Looks like 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. John Byron in the 57, Dave Cassidy in the 13 car there as well. Good looking paint scheme. I don't know if we've seen that Budweiser paint yet this year.
I don't think we've seen that one yet, but it is a very nice paint scheme. We got Budweiser on one car, Coldstream on another one. So the battle of the adult beverages is going on tonight. But in saying that, I don't want to look now, but Ryan Messer's closed that gap again. So I do believe you are correct, Paul. He believe he's playing a cat and mouse game. Let's see if we can draw it back and how many laps it takes me to catch the leader. So he's either he's either really bored and he knows he's going to win this race, or 2, he's doing a lot of studying.
Indeed he is, and we'll take a peek here. Tanton Woldridge, he slides back to 4th, going to slide back to 5th as it looks like. Noel Fougier, little side-by-side action with him. Tanton Woldridge, he was there in 3rd, kind of following in the tracks of Ryan Messer. Every position that Tanton slides back and every one that Messer moves forward, it's going to affect the points battle in a big way. And you can see that gap now. Messer's right there in 2nd. He could close up to the back bumper, I think, at this point at any given time. They're driving away from 3rd place. Now Devin Laffin, 3.2, 3.3, 3.4 seconds. The gap from 1st on back to 3rd here with 65 laps to go. And as we look, we've only got 11 cars here on the lead lap. So might have some lap traffic issues here coming up in this one. There's still a couple of pit stops at least that have to be made for fuel. And is it going to be a 2-tire or a 4-tire stop for these leaders? There's a lot of questions that we still have to get some answers to.
That was going to be my next question was, and I didn't get a chance to talk to anybody prior to the race, if they were going to have to pit, if fuel was going to be a concern for these guys. I know they can probably make it on tires as long as they nurse them and take care of them, but I wasn't sure on the fuel load. Needless to say, if these guys do have to pit, I'm going to assume they're really hoping for a yellow, because pitting under green at a track like this, if you're just doing fuel, you can only do 2 tires. You might still go a lap or 2 down because it's such a short track. But they're most definitely guys coming down pit road to get tires and maybe top up the fuels. A couple guys on pit road right now. But I don't know if it's going to have to be a mandatory stop or if they're just begging for tires at this point.
You can see Tanton gets back around the 8 car for that third position, as albeit 4 seconds almost, 3.8 seconds back from Ryan Messer. And here at VidaneTV, we've been tinkering with some toys. We've shown off a couple of cool things that we've got here. Ashley, you ready to show this thing off we've been working on here?
I think it's time.
I think it's time. For the first time ever, a little side-by-side action here on VidaneTV. Let's take a look at where the RBR Maritime Season 8 Championship drivers are. There you see on the left-hand side, Tanton Wooldridge in the 56. Ryan Messer closing in on the leader over there on the right-hand side of your screen. And Ashley, we've talked about it multiple times throughout the evening here tonight, the different styles, the different lines. We can show that off here between these two championship drivers here as well. We don't have a way to sync this up yet, so we're just going to do it old school. 3, 2, 1, cockpit cam. Yeah, we almost nailed it.
Almost. I hit the button one too many times, but we're there. We're there.
We're there. Live TV, folks. Tanton Wooldridge on the left-hand side, Ryan Messer there on the right, and it's just one more thing we can do here at VidaneTV. And oh, by the way, you can get your logo up top there. DM's always open at VidaneTV. But cool little trick that we've got here. We're going to be following along with Ryan Messer and Tanton Wooldridge, trying to figure out who's going to come home with that championship. And we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. 54 laps to go, 53 once we get to the stripe. Messer's there. He's right on the back bumper of Roma.
Yeah, absolutely he is. And like I said, I think he's knocking on that door now, and I think it's Messer doesn't usually wait till the last, 2 laps or whatever. He wants to get that lead and take off. I think now is kind of where you're seeing it. There's 53 laps to go. In his mind, it might be go time. It might be time to take that lead and get himself a little more comfortable. Now, in saying that, if he knows that this championship is wrapped up and he might have it, he might just be okay with cruising around in second and seeing how things play out. But I don't think that's the case, in all honesty.
No, Messer's going to try and get himself another win. We call him VidaneTV's Iron Man. He's won in every league that we've broadcast here on VidaneTV. We won't have to list them off. You can check out the records over on the VidaneTV YouTube page. We've got over 600 plus live broadcasts that we've done in the 5 years that we've been doing this here at VidaneTV. Give us a like, to subscribe, to share, all that good stuff. We're over on Facebook. We're still on TikTok. We're over on X as well. We're on the twitch.tv/strictly94. We're going to do probably some Grand Theft Auto action later on here this evening. But it's just crazy to see that, Ryan Messer out there in second. I still think he's got command of this race. He is running in second right now, but he is the master here in sim racing, and I think he's still doing his studying, like you said earlier.
Yeah, and I'm sure somebody. I mean, we know he doesn't run a spotter because we've asked him that in the past, and he just runs it all on his own. But I'm going to assume that somebody has to have told him by now that Tanton's kind of fallen back. He's not out of the race completely, but he's back in third. And he's fallen back off of his bumper, so he's got some wiggle room there. Not in the point sense because there's no cars in between him and another car. There's a little bit of contact on the front stretch between the 38 and the 36, but everybody, I think, figured that out, and everybody's still pointing in the right direction, and we're still green. But I'm sure he knows the distance between him and Tanton and what he has to do to lock in this champion if the points fall the right way.
And how many of the drivers as well watch alongside our fans on the VidaneTV from inside the car? As I almost choke on a Pop-Tart there. Live TV, folks. This is how we do it.
Is it the little mini Pop-Tarts?
No, regular size Pop-Tarts. As Ryan Messer he's gonna take a shot at the lead on the high side, do it the hard way. And he might have something here. He gets the advantage over the 83. The 83 Aroma pushes up ever so slightly, trying to take the line away. Almost contact there as they cross the stripe, but Messer going to complete the pass, put that one car, P1, on the field.
I saw him kind of peek up there earlier on when I said he was running that right sides on that white dotted line, and I kind of wondered if he had found something there, because when he first did that, he was catching Roma really quickly, and I think he went back down to the bottom just to not show his hand, and I don't want to say he made that pass on the outside look easy, but certainly a nice clean pass, and he's off to the races now as great battle here between the 29 and the 8 of Veach and Laffin, and they're going at it side by side. This is the second or third lap that they stay side by side, and there no contact between either of them. As I say that.
No contact, there's your content and your receipt. And they keep it straight.
Yeah, they keep it straight, but I honestly think I'm going to stop calling drivers out because between Bossman and Danny and Laffin, they're making me look silly right now.
Good shot of Bossman. He's got a front row seat for this battle. These guys trying to take away the spotlight from the championship battle here this evening between Messer and Woldridge. They're currently 1 and 3rd on the racetrack and still almost side by side. You can see the 29 of Danny Vitch going to try and poke back in there. There he is. He's going to try and get underneath of the 8 car. Nothing quite there as they cross the stripe. They are still duking it out here with 37 laps to go.
You notice when the 29 got his nose underneath the 8 and there wasn't a lot of room there, how much the 8 pulled away on the exit of that corner. And that was simply just the 29 getting tight off the corner. He doesn't want to, get on the throttle and get up into the 8. That's not the kind of drivers these guys are. So he can't get on it as much, and that just allows the 8 to really pull away from him.
And you can see they get it all kind of sorted out here at this point for the time being. Danny Vitch taking another look on the 8 car. Nothing quite there. As I say that, he's going to take a shot at it in 3 and 4 to try and better that spot, get a little bit closer to the top 5. No real changes up in the top 5. Messer able to pull away now in that 1 car. He's got a 1.3 second lead over Chris Roma in the 83 car in second. And it's a long ways back to Tant Woldridge, 5.7 seconds to be exact. He's got the racetrack almost by himself as it's another 3 to 4 seconds back to Noel Fougier. There you see the 38 car. He's broken his way into the top 5. How about that for Travis Roma?
Yeah, a great run, and like you said, he's quietly been picking them off one by one, so he's got a solid car, and he's got a really strong car late in the race, at least. It looks like he's starting to really come around, so the car's coming to him. You see him really close the center of the corner there up to Noel Fougier, so I don't count him out of the picture just yet. I mean, he's got to close in that gap. Would you say it was a point difference between them? So I'm thinking that he's trying to close that gap as we're going to get the first yellow of the evening with 30 laps to go. I'm not exactly sure. It could have been a debris caution. The 55 was a little slow off it, but he could have just cut off the gas a little earlier. It looks like the 29 of Danny and the 8 of Laffin finally make contact after so many laps of not, and Danny does a great job keeping it up out of the traffic as the leaders and the rest of the pack were coming by. Great job of Danny to get that up into the outside. He made hard contact with the inside.
Yeah, somebody shook that Mountain Dew can up in a big way, and you can see they were still side by side all the way up to the wreck. The 8 gets up on the outside wall. It doesn't look like it affects anything too much. Wanted to back that up a half lap just to make sure there was no receipt or anything like that, and I honestly think it was just a couple of cars going for the same piece of real estate. 8 comes down just a bit. The 29, they didn't even make contact there. It was right here, I believe, is where the contact is. Nope, just kidding. There it is. So yeah, a couple of cars going for the same piece of real estate. And like you said, big hit for the 29. Right in front of the leader there, too. Ryan Messer in the 1 sneaks on by. So no harm, no foul for the 1 car. And they're going to sit down on pit road with that 29 crew to see if they can get back out on track.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was just a case of the car coming out of the corner. And like you said, same real estate, right? So the 8's trying to keep that the nose of that car pointed down so you can get on the gas and get down the straightaway. And the 29's doing the same thing. He's coming off the corner. He's not looking at, he's not looking out his right side window. He's looking straight down the straightaway to get himself lined up for that next corner. So no harm. I mean, there's a little bit of harm, but no intentions by any means by either of those drivers. They ran quite a few laps side by side. So a great run by both those drivers. Just sucks that the 29's on pit road after such a great battle.
And there you can see the field lining up behind the pace car 2 by 2 all the way through. Lights are out on the iRacing pace car, getting ready to do battle once again. Should we do the thing on the restart?
I mean, we could.
Let's do the thing on the restart. Let's crank it up. Uh-oh. Maybe we cranked it up a little bit too hard. Caution flag flies once again here at South Boston. A couple of cars towards the back of the pack didn't quite get going, it looked like. We'll take a peek here at the U-House Racing Designs instant replay. 13 had to check up, got going, spun the tires, it looks like, into the 57. They get it all sorted out there. And a 57, it looks like the 13 checked up, trying to set the car back up, and the 57 kind of got into the back of him there until he gets a little piece of the action. You can see there's some damage already on the front of that number 50 Toco electric ride, but all in all, could have been a whole lot worse for these three.
It absolutely could have been, and you nailed it on the head when you said the tire spin. It's 23 laps to go. These guys have run multiple laps and multiple heat cycles on these tires, so I don't think they took that into account, and somebody got on the throttle a little harder than they should have on the restart, spun those tires and just stacked the field up. But it wasn't too hard of an impact, and I think the 57 will be fine out of that with the nose damage, and I don't think Bossman really has too much more damage than what he already had on the car. So they'll get it all figured out, and they'll get him doubled back up and get back under green here. And what a front row! What a race this has been, Paul. I mean, we've had guys come all the way from the back quietly. We've had guys drop to the back and work their way back up to the front. So it's certainly been a great race. It's been a great season. Season Ocho for this RBR crew has been nothing but amazing, as they always are.
Yeah, and we've already got rumblings for season 9 or Nueve on the go for next winter as well. It's been fun. It's been a blast throughout the season, and we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty here, taking the restart with 20 laps to go. Championship contender Ryan Messer going to start P1. The guy he's battling for right behind him in P3. Chris Roma there trying to take a win here in the bonus round for Season Ocho. We're on the green flag once again in the Toco Electric 150 here at South Boston.
We are, and the 56 is right there knocking on the door again. He's on the bottom side of the 83 of Roma, and he's trying to pick up that second place position to do what he knows he has to do. He has to go out and pass that one car to make sure he gets the championship. So he's got some work to do as he falls back in behind the 83 of Roma, and he's going to have to go to work with only 19 laps to go.
A little bit of contact between the 56 and the 83. Got to cut that down to a minimum. If you're Tanton Woldridge, you need to stay there on the podium in the top 3 if you want a shot to get this championship. Ryan Messer doing exactly what he needs to do. Capitalize on maximum points. Came into tonight, got the pole, got the 5 bonus points for qualifying P1, and right now he's going to try and capture that W. Running P1 right now, 17 laps. Check that, 16 laps to go once they get to the stripe.
Messer doing everything he can to keep that car down on the bottom side with the 83 right on his back bumper, trying to find a way around the one car, but I don't think he's going to, as the one car is very strong center off the corner. As he enters the corner, the 83 closes that gap. Messer able to pull that on the exit. So a little bit of side-by-side battle as Laffin is going after what looks to be the other Roma brother, as some passing going on deep in the field here. That looks like it's going to be for the 4th, 5th, 6th position. A gaggle of cars sitting right there.
Travis Roma breaking back into the top 5 in that 38 car, black and yellow. 2P5, Devin Laffin now side by side with Dylan Black, the 8 and the 08. There you can see trying to get a little bit closer to that 5th position and gets just a little bit better. You can see the front 3 still single file. They've broken away from 4th place Noel Fougere. Noel having a quiet, solid run in that 36 car. There you see him trying to kind of tuck back in to that top 3, but they're slowly starting to train away.
They are, and they've actually picked up their lap times quite a bit from earlier on in this race. They're now running the 15.1, so low 15s. They were in the 15.3s, 15.4s early on. They've picked up that pace. Those top 3 know that it's time to go with only 11 laps to go, coming to 10 laps to go. They're almost breaking into the 14 seconds laps, which is what their qualifying laps were earlier on today. And these are the 3 top drivers of this division. I mean, the whole field is stacked with drivers, but these guys have put on a show today.
And as you can see at the top of the screen, the top ticker there on your screen, those are the previous lap times on any given driver, and you can see they're 2-3 tenths faster than the field up in this top three. There's a couple of guys that have been able to get down into the 15.1s, but not as consistent as this top three. Ryan Messer, P1, Chris Roma in the 83, P2, Tanton Woldridge, P3, and I think as they would sit right now, I believe Tanton would still hold on to the championship. Remember, coming into last week, Ryan Messer had a 7-point lead, but he had some connection issues. The Wi-Fi went out. He ended up finishing P17 on the field. Tanton Woolridge would have won the championship by 7 points at that point, but Tan's been trying so hard over the past 7 years to capture this RBR Maritime iRacing Championship. He wanted to do it the right way. He wanted to do it heads up with Ryan Messer, so he told the boss man, Craig Tully, he wanted to run one more event, a bonus round, if you would, to see who was going to earn this championship the hard way. High five from Barney up in the flag stand. 5 laps to go. Ryan Messer holding on to the point.
Tanton Woolridge already peeking to the outside of Chris Roma. He's got a little bit of momentum, and he knows what he's got to do. He needs that one more position to really give him that opportunity with only 1 or 2 to go to get to Ryan Messer, but he's not able to get past Chris Roma. He's fighting it as he taps the wall a little bit on corner entry, trying to use as much of that racetrack as possible. He's going to come to the line with 3 to go for Ryan Messer out in front. Chris Roma is still very strong on his back bumper. I don't count him out for a win. I know there's a points championship on the line, but there is still also a race win to be had.
Pick your favorite flavor. Popsicle sticks. 2 laps to go at South Boston. Here with the Tolco Electric Hunt 150. Ryan Messer holding on to the point. Chris Roma in the 83 car. P2, Tanton Woldridge doing what he needs to, we believe, hold on to that championship. White flag, white rag, final lap in this final event. Ashton, take us home.
Ryan Messer down the backstretch with the 83 Roma right on his back bumper. Tanton Woolridge in third as they exit 3 and 4. Ryan Messer, the Iron Man, is going to take the win with Chris Roma in second, Tanton Woolridge in third, and we are going to sit here and wait to figure out who the championship is going to go to. But for this race right now, Ryan Messer, another big win for that team. After a great season and, you know, the bonus race and all, Ryan Messer able to regroup himself, come back out here and get the victory. And as I said, Paul, we're going to wait and see what the final verdict might be. But what a run by Ryan Messer. The strategy he plays and that we get to watch the whole race, him dropping back and getting that speed all the way back up to the back bumper of Chris Roma. And then Chris Roma didn't really go anywhere after that either. He stuck with him for the remainder of the race.
100%, and we'll give the race officials a little bit of time to hash out the math, but in the meantime, we'll talk to our second place driver in that 83. Chris, great run here tonight, solid in that 83 car, led a bunch of laps. What else did you need to try and get around Messer?
I don't know. He did a great job of saving early. I still haven't really caught on these tires this season. It was nice to lead some laps, but he on that long run at the end, he had a little more. It came back around for me after that yellow, but just couldn't get it up beside him to make a move. I didn't want to do anything stupid and ruin him and Tanton's night.
Solid run here tonight, closing out the season. Where are we going to see you at the real racetrack anytime here? Once all the snow melts, right?
Yeah, I don't know. You never know. We're talking about bringing our sportsman car back out this year to have a little fun once in a while, but we'll see how the rest of this winter goes.
Absolutely. Still got to get through winter before we get into the springtime and the race seasons and all that good stuff. Who's out there watching? Family, friends, sponsors, anybody that gets you to and from the virtual racetrack?
Oh, it's just all same guys, same as all, sir. Roma Brothers crew and you guys for being up in the booth, putting on, making a show of it, and everybody coming out and having some good, hard, clean racing. Blast.
100%. Chris Roma, great run to capitalize or to close out the season. P2, congratulations.
Thanks. Congrats to the champion, whoever it is.
Yeah, we're still trying to, well, not even going to lie. We're not trying to do the math. We're waiting for the boss man to do the math.
Yeah.
But we'll slide it on a little bit further. Ashton, I think you've caught up with P3, potentially could be the champion, but we've caught up with Tanton over there.
I have caught up with the third place finisher tonight. A solid run again, Tanton. Always a solid showing here with the RBR series. What more did you need? Was it a saving game? Was it a tire game? What did you need to get to Messer?
They were just a little bit better tonight. I mean, both him and Chris seemed to be kind of rolling the center off a little bit better. Um, I tried to save as much as I could. I didn't touch full throttle until probably 60 to go. So, I thought I had enough in the tank, but just not quite enough.
Absolutely. I mean, still a great showing, a great season overall. We haven't heard yet what the points ended up landing as, so we're still waiting for that. But all in all, still a great season. Whether it's a championship or whether it's a second place, it's still great to see you out on the racetrack and doing so well. We kind of know what the plans are for this coming summer, and is there anything that you're planning prior to the winter months being done here?
Not really. I think the plan is to roll out on May 10th at 660 with the SLMS series. Yeah, nothing really in the works for the winter. Still doing some iRacing, running the Sim Auto Racing Association Cyra Contender Series, building setups for Elite Performance Industries, which is it's tough in its own game. I like to think that I run very well here, and I go into that league and can hardly crack the top 10. So yeah, running on that series, trying to get better, racing against some 10K ironing guys, some of the best guys on this sim for short track. So that's kind of I guess the main focus right now. I know the boys are hard at work in the shop. Um, Weekly, sometimes multiple nights a week, and I know they're right there tonight. Winslow working on the late models, getting them ready for the season. So big shout out to those guys. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep at it on the iRaces, work in the shop when we can, and get ready for May 10th.
Absolutely. You mentioned some of the guys that help you out in the real world and the iRacing world. Name off that list, and hopefully by then we maybe have some results for you.
Yeah, big one I guess for this year will be all on motorsports. Troy Burke, Robbie Gauthier, Corey Rayner, Dave Woldridge, Jason McCausland, Chris Walsh. Um, there's an endless list of guys that are helping out. Scott Livingston Steel, Chris Fournier, Remax, JS Plumbing and Heating, King Competition. There's like I said, it's an endless list, but they do a ton, and I'm really excited for May to roll around and get out there.
Absolutely. Again, congratulations, and we're going to find out officially here soon what the championship points standings are. But Paul, you've caught up with the other one that's in a very tight contention, and today's race winner. That's Ryan Messer.
Tight points contention is an absolute understatement because I got another post-it note. Boss man handed it over, and I'm going to unfold it. Well, I already unfolded. I already took a peek. Ryan Messer wins the championship via the tiebreaker. The tiebreaker, most wins. Ryan Messer did everything he absolutely needed to do by winning the pole and winning this race. Ended up being a tie for the championship, and winning the race wins you the championship. Ryan, I don't think there's any other way you could potentially try and get a championship in your back pocket like you've done here tonight.
Yeah, that's as close as you can get it right there. It was a wicked battle all year with the 56 of Tanton Woolridge. I knew it was going to be like that right from the first race. It was going to be tight all year long, and we've had some wicked races, kind of like we did last season. It was just a repeat. So it'll be fun to be able to do it in the real cars this summer. Yeah, just I had to get everything to go the right way, and it did. We didn't have any connection problems, but it wouldn't have even been possible if it wasn't for him giving me that second chance after I had connection issues in the last one. He could have took it there and ran, and that's not how he wanted to do it, and I respect him a lot for that. So no, it all ended up pretty good.
Yeah, championship in the one camp for sure, and a lot of Messer fans out there as well. You made mention some real race car action. Where are we going to see out in the track here in a couple months when the snow melts?
We'll be doing the season opener at Speedway 660 for the Super Late Model Series as well. We'll be running the full season with them, just the 250 and Gary. Gonna try to get to the IWK 250 again. Just some select 660 shows, I think, here and there. Many other big ones we can try to fit in there. Just see how the first part of the year goes and kind of make our schedule up from there a little bit.
We got just a little bit of time to kind of hold on to this championship here in the RBR Season 8, a hard-fought championship to that, and we know you don't do it alone. Who else gets you to and from the virtual racetracks, and who else is out there watching that you want to say hi to?
Yeah, sure. I think a bunch of my family's all tuned in again. They always like to tune into these things whenever they're going on, so shout out to them. Just the RBR guys, Craig, Kyle, all the guys for putting us on. It's been a great series to come and run. You guys at Vidane for broadcasting the races, so it's been a lot of fun.
Putting on a heck of a show here for us. Congratulations, champ. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
And it's going to wrap things up for this season here. We'll catch up with the big boss man real quick. Craig Tully, another season here in the books. What a show. From green flag on race 1 to the checkered flag here, and now the bonus round. To have the championship come down to a tiebreaker and the champion winning the final race of the season, that's you can't write that. You can't script that.
Yeah, those guys definitely had something figured out. They were the two to beat. You could kind of tell after the first race, those guys were a league of their own for sure, and they were going to do some battling. But yeah, crazy to come down to a tiebreaker. I always think, we don't got to figure out a tiebreaker. And I think this was like our third time using one. So just goes to show you the field and how close we are and, what it comes down to. So kudos to Tanton for sure for extending it to try and, win it straight up. Yeah, that one position, that one car in between them made the difference. Because I think we changed it a couple seasons ago. Winner gets 50, and then second, it's a 5-point advantage to win, which I think it should be. I mean, it's it's tough to win these races. So
yeah, makes for a heck of a show, and we don't even really have to ask the question. But we've got season 9 penciled in, right? I know Tanton's ready to rock and roll. He's hungry. He wants one of these RBR championships.
Absolutely. Tanton deserves one for sure. He's been so close with all of them. Yeah, we're definitely going to run it again. Our group likes coming out once a week. Unfortunately, we only come out once a week, so we're kind of rusty, honestly. Like, I used to run a lot more, and yeah, I'm a little rusty. I don't think I got an official interview because I didn't make top 3 all season. But yeah, we definitely want to run it again. Maybe late February or early March or into March or something. We'll start getting itchy again. So we'll definitely come to you guys, and we'll get her all broadcasted up.
Pencil it in for us as well. And Ashton, another great race in the books, and championship came down to a tiebreaker. Who would have thought?
Yeah, that's such a great way to end such a great season. These guys put on a show. You said it many, many times. Many races of door-to-door action. The whole crew, the whole line of drivers, all 15 or 16 that were able to participate this year, are all great drivers. They can all run door to door and side by side and put on a show. So season Ocho did not disappoint. It came down to the last race, the last lap, and that's probably one of the best stories I have out of the iRacing world for sure.
Absolutely, and that's going to wrap things up here for us at South Boston Speedway here for VidaneTV. Everybody here at the RBR Maritime Group, we will catch you on the flip side, and when we do,
we'll be doing it live.